What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast, the podcast where we like to normalize checking in on your homies. If you like what we do, even if you don't, just help us out. Like, subscribe. It helps. I'm Mike. That is also Mike. Today we have a really cool guest. It's kind of wild how it came about. Came about quick, but we're stoked to have our boy Danny Thomas from Nomads.
What's up?
Yeah.
And yeah, we've already been talking for
Yeah, a half hour more.
But I feel like it's a good side to a pod.
Yeah. Welcome, man.
Well, thanks, man.
Even though we've been in here for like an hour at this point.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm stoked, man. I feel like I want to get into like your life, dude.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I feel like you've
beware, all right? It's a mess, dude. My life's a mess.
Yeah.
I'm a mess.
So we mentioned a second ago though that this came about fast. So how did you find out that you were in town, and then put the pieces together to make this happen today?
So we can take this back to freaking. Oh wait, no, it wasn't. Sleeping Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
And it's not though. Okay, they're different bands. And I think was it from that when you were like, hey, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
I'll be back for the fest. And so I was like, dude, you got like, I don't know where you're gonna be, but if you come out to LA, we'll get tacos.
Mm-hmm.
Which the taco spot is closed on Mondays.
That's a bummer. But it's today Monday or is this Sunday?
Today's Sunday.
Yeah, I'll lose track of time, man.
Yeah.
I don't know
But-
what the days are.
Cajon's open until
I was about to
Is
say,
it?
about 10 o'clock, I think.
There are more taco spots in LA.
I know. I'm just saying ours.
We're already sidetracked. I'm already checking the fucking.
I think they closed on 9.
And so yeah, it was just like, hey, come out,
Yeah.
we'll hang, and then today you just hit me up like, hey, we still meeting up tomorrow? I was like, yeah, man. Like, I was like, where are you? Because I didn't real. I knew that the fest. For some reason, I thought the fest was in LA, which I guess technically Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was like, where are you guys like staying? And you're like Riverside.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I too am in Riverside right now.
Yeah.
Visiting my parents, and so yeah, I was like, do you want to do the podcast?
Yeah. Which I thought Mike, had a typo there. I thought he said you want to do tacos, and I thought he was like, oh yeah, he just misspelled that.
He's just really bad at spelling.
Like, we're doing a podcast. What? All right. And then he's like, no, we got this thing. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll do it. I'm cool. Yeah. So
Dude, and here we are.
yeah, man. Blessed are the flexible, man.
Yeah.
And shout out to Doulos for putting you guys
Yeah,
out.
dude, like really, really good people. We got to hang out with him at some shows over the last couple of years, but getting to spend some quality time with him this past week has been awesome. Very encouraging to us, as we are pretty aligned in our values and how we want to do our bands. So it was cool, and we got to. I mean, this whole morning, my wife hates it, right? I wake up and I'm lit up, man. I'm smiling.
Morning
I'm
person.
happy to be alive. And so instead of bothering her with all that, I went inside and, a couple of them were awake and we just start talking and, whatever, and just getting to like share a lot of things with them, what's going on in our life, and, them to pour right back into us. And I'm like, man, they've already done so much, letting us borrow their bass player for the last 3 shows. But yeah, it's a good time. They're really good people.
Yeah, we gotta get you guys on at some point. I feel bad that we haven't yet.
After all this time.
Dude.
Yeah,
Played shows together.
Yeah.
He has played so many shows.
I mean, they're like right down the road. I mean,
Yeah.
probably chuck a rock and hit their house. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They'll always be real ones for me because MBR had a secret show, and it just so happened to be the same weekend as Sound and Fury,
Oh,
and so we're like, we need someone to play. Like we need
Like, who's gonna do this?
who's not going to Sound and Fury, and so we had reached out and like right away they were like, yeah, we'll do it. Like they're just down. I love those dudes.
yeah, they're really cool with with us trying to get a show out here, because we had one band that flew in from Ireland, and for me, I was like, man, we got to try to make this worth it. They're coming out for one fest I'm like, let's see if we can pull a couple more shows. And we tried, and there was a lot of things not working out. But the Doulos guys reached out to, his name's Oreo and Silverback Booking.
Yeah.
I think I talked to you too, and
Yeah.
you were like, you'd give me a list of things, and I shot out a bunch of messages. But that's the only one that really landed. And then they're like, oh, hey, they're pulling a bunch of us in from the fest onto this show with a bunch of other bands.
Was that at Cool Cat?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
So that was, I mean, and I think it's wild. Danny and I were talking about it this morning. The other Danny, Maldonado, who's also in Clear Convictions, he was saying, it's like, it's just wild. One day we're playing out behind a tattoo shop and a gas station. The next day we're playing in this this church or whatever, and the sound is a little bit different. But we're comparing all that, and it's just kind of wild, the extremes that we were in. But it's been a blast, and yeah, without Doulos, trying to get some things moving together, we would only done the fest. So
That's sick.
Cool. Yeah, they're good dudes. Are you staying with Noah or?
we're staying with Mel and Eddie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they had invited us to crash there, which has been very helpful, and it's cool just how they have everything set up. We have our own little room, and it's got blackout curtains and AC that we can blast, dude.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. So, but it's been good, man. Yeah. So,
Well, cool, dude. Let's.
Yeah.
So we'll start with music.
yeah.
We'll start with music. What was your music path? What eventually got you into punk rock, hardcore?
All right. So, starting off, I didn't grow up as a Christian, right? Got exposed to a lot of different types of music, from reggae and heavy metal stuff. But I eventually landed on listening to like Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Sum 41, and then when I became a Christian, and I ended up leaving the secular school I was in, and the church I'd been going to at the time in Bangor, Maine. They started a school, and I remember asking my dad after I had like this really bad interaction with a teacher. It's like, hey, can I go to that school? And he's like, yeah. So like, while that school was different, right? Like, public school, you can't wear hats.
Yeah.
You can't carry knives. Man, these guys carried knives. They wore hats and they had guns in their trunks and stuff. They go hunting and whatever, right?
Yeah.
But that school is also full with a bunch of kids that were into punk rock and hardcore and metal, and like a family there. Their daughter worked for Tooth and Nail at the time, and then did some work with Face Down. So we were always getting CDs slung in the hallways.
The samplers, dude.
At the
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah, at this Christian school. Yeah, and like we could, after class was done and maybe you had some time to work or in study hall, you could listen to music. So I had, all this music, and I was, I showed up there with all my, the secular stuff I was listening to, and they're like, well, hey, here's this. And that's where I got turned on to Demon Hunter, and then As I Lay Dying, and then all this Face Down stuff like Bloody Sunday, No Innocent Victim, Cyanide Beach, and so many others. And I was like, wow, like there's a world I didn't even know that existed. And in Maine, there really ain't much, right? I grew up in the woods. I was like 40 minutes away from my school. So like if you got to go to Bangor, which is the big city, and go to Bull Moose Music, maybe you had a couple of names because the liner notes had something, and you go look at it and get some ideas from your friends. So I could get stuff occasionally, but I didn't have all this access.
Yeah.
So like people talk about all the time, like, they name these obscure punk bands that like, were the pioneers of everything. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I know who Minor Threat is. That's about it, And so it was through that, and then finally getting into the military. That's when I got exposed to a whole nother world of hardcore. So yeah, that's been it. Yeah.
Thanks. So you made friends with dudes in the military that were in the scene.
Yeah. So, I had known this, like joining the Army and like the path that I was choosing was likely going to land me at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And I had seen a lot of bands coming from North Carolina. And at the time, the only one I can really remember right now, like Beloved and He Is Legend. And then maybe there was a few others. But as I got integrated into the scene there, and that's, I've been claiming straight edge since I was 13. Not like I, really had access to much. I mean, in Maine, you really like
Sure.
you like go into the woods and drink with your friends, or you do nothing. And I just didn't do anything. So, but being in the Army, now you have access to that, whether you're legally allowed to do it or not. It doesn't matter, right? But I would always, I found those people and got hooked in. And then my buddy Carter, who was living out near Cherry Point, he's not a service member, but he's a straight edge dude that's out there, and he had been in a lot of different bands. I just got hooked up with him and started playing music and formed a band, and then we played a lot with his band. But he's the one who's like introduced me to so much. And he's like, bring a hard drive. I'll just download gigabytes of music. So I had all this stuff.
Yes.
So while I was deployed, I could listen to a lot, and but that's how I got integrated there. And there's plenty of dudes, right, who you got people are coming from all over the place. It's a melting pot. I've had interactions with Nazi skinheads to other Christian folks to whatever else, right? And there's so many things. So you figure out what you like and people you don't want to be around, and who you can play with. And I had a lot of bands that tried to form within the military, but when you got deployment schedules and you got other people pursuing their career, it doesn't always work out.
So you're trying to start bands while you're actively...
Oh, I did. So let's see.
For the Troops Corps, dude.
Dude, that's sick.
So I joined the Army 2007. I went through a one-station unit training, airborne school, and then I ended up at Fort Bragg, North Carolina in February of 2008. So July to 2008 was like this training pipeline. And then I deployed 3 weeks later to Iraq. So I was in Iraq. I got to go see a show, maybe 2 shows in North Carolina. I saw Sent by Ravens, like when they were first starting off. I forget the name of the EP, but it had like, the song is Modern Day Mary. And I know it because I listened to that EP all the way to Iraq. Like it was nonstop. That, and then there's this album by a band called 3 off of Metal Blade. And I was just back and forth with this. But when I got home and I did some more research and tried to find these venues where you go watch music at and stuff, I ended up finding my way into a band that had then collapsed. They didn't get along, and I was only in there for like a couple weeks. And I was like, well, I guess I'll find something else, try to start some other stuff. But before I was ready to deploy again, I formed a band called Last of a Dying Breed in North Carolina. And what we did is we started doing the same things I've been doing in the other bands, that Nomads and No Treaty, is we just traded tracks back and forth. So my homeboy had a pirated version of, I don't know what it was, Adobe something, some type of music program, right? He's like, all right, put this on your computer, take your PA head with you and a microphone, and you can record stuff out there. So that's what we did. We just traded back and forth, and we wrote an EP, and I set up a vocal recording booth in Iraq. Like,
So sick, dude.
I just went to the when we would go to the bigger fobs, I bought carpets and stuff, and then other, like, you can get a mattress liner or whatever, and put that all inside of this wall locker, threw heavy wool blankets over the top of it. So I go in this thing with just like PT shorts and doing all these vocals and sweating to death in the middle of Iraq. And that's what we did. So yeah, like, it's totally possible.
What would guys say? Or would you sneak away, no one knew? Or...
No, it was right there. Like, we had old Iraqi barracks that we lived in. And I just set it up on one end of it where not as many people were, and I try to be respectful when they're out on mission and I'm back here. I can do all my stuff, and then you upload it. But I had several times people were like, "What the hell are you doing, man?
Why is this motherfucker yelling in the back over here?"
Yeah. So, So, but I think everybody in my platoon just finally got it. Like, the dude's a Christian that loves Jesus, and he plays his music. We don't really get it, but he's all right. We can let him do his thing. So, So
That's rad, dude.
Yeah.
And did you ever record anyone else? Would anybody else want to get in there and be like, "Can I try that?" Or?
No, nobody else cared for what I was doing at all. I get made fun of a lot, but then you're just like, oh, whatever, I don't care. So,
dude, that's crazy. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I never thought about doing it while you're there in active duty.
Yeah, no, it was sick, man. It was like when we redeployed, going back home. You know, it was the night that I got back. Like, I got a pizza from my favorite pizza place, changed clothes, and then went to my buddy's house, and we had our first practice since I've been home. Practiced all the songs. The next night we went and played at the brewery in Raleigh, North Carolina. So, like, this is just what we're doing. So
That's sick.
Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah.
This is random. Do you know Jeffrey Easton?
I don't think so.
He did. I don't know when around you were there or when he was even there, but he's a buddy of ours. He did sound. He got really sick. We had him on the podcast.
Okay.
But anyway, he's from that area.
Oh, okay.
We had when MBR played a show in Hawaii when we were coming back from Australia, and like didn't know what to expect in Hawaii, and so the promoters like, dude, these shows are like they're pretty wild. Like we actually have like a pretty crazy like punk and hardcore scene.
Yeah.
And he's like, the pits are crazy.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, I bet. He's like, no, like they're like crazy. It's like we have Islander dudes, and then you have military dudes.
Yeah.
And so it's like you have just straight power and then like kicks with intent.
Yeah.
It's all like
Flip flops and combat boots, dude.
but it was cool. I remember we met like there was a guy that we actually knew from like he was from like Arkansas or something, and he was there, and he's like, I can't believe you guys are here. Like we can't eat, we can't either. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it was cool seeing like dudes from the base. Like we had a pretty good showing of dudes that came out just for the show. I was like, oh.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was a cool thing in North Carolina. Like you're always gonna have military dudes at the shows, whether you're in Fayetteville or Raleigh, down on the coast. It's always like that. But yeah, being on an island, man, I know my wife and I were talking about that. I'm like, we're really glad we never got orders for Hawaii because we like to travel. We would have been stuck, and yeah, I know that they get almost nothing.
Was she also in service?
No. No, it's not really. I mean, she wanted to join the Navy, but her dad would not have been pleased with that, so she didn't go. But yeah.
I also want to ask why was it bombing or the basically jumping out of planes?
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'm a third generation paratrooper, right? My grandfather was, aunts, uncles, or uncles, not aunts. My dad, of course. But my mom was a jumper, and so she actually jumped twice before she found out she was pregnant with me. So it's kind of like inherent in my DNA.
So you had already jumped.
Literally.
Yeah, right. They wouldn't put it on my log, and I couldn't get back paid. So,
wait. So have you? So then would you skydive? Just had you done it before you even?
Never. Nope. No, because I joined the Army right out of high school, so never did any skydiving. We were poor, so I couldn't even do. We didn't do a whole lot of anything. But yeah, when I joined, it's kind of funny. Like getting ready to sign my contract for the military, you go through a negotiation process, and I had several things out on the table, and my scores were all right, but there were just certain things that I was looking for that I couldn't get. But the one thing I was not going to compromise on was airborne school. Now, I'd gone back and forth with the recruiter, and they're like, yeah, we'll see what we can do. And you bring me back in and try to offer me $50,000. I'm like, nope, got to have airborne school. Like, come back in, offer me something else, got to have airborne school. I'm like, look, if I don't go home with an airborne contract, my dad he'll disown me, right?
Yeah.
So we go through this whole thing, and they're like, you're going to get your contract. So I remember I went home, I had a straight infantry contract, and my dad was pissed. He was a medic. He wanted me to be a medic. I didn't want to deal with that. Lo and behold, you find out everybody gets a degree of medical training, and the medics are like, we only do a little bit more that like we legally have to be certified for, but everybody else does all this other stuff. Like we put IVs in each other and all this jazz. But my recruiter did end up coming back and saying like, all right, we got you your airborne contract. So it was gravy on that side, but I had to do it, man. And
I can't believe the turning dudes down that want to jump out of planes.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, that's still like.
Yeah.
And what was that first jump like?
Well, so like everybody goes through this thing in airborne school where, right, you go through, right, what they say it, right, there's a meme or whatever out there that's like, jump school is 3 weeks long, right? First week we separate the men from the boys, right? Second week we separate the men from the fools. The third week the fools jump, right?
Yeah.
So it's true. Like it's nuts. I was telling you guys earlier, right? It takes a special kind of idiot, right? Any idiot can fly the plane. Special kind of idiot to jump out of one.
Yeah.
So you go through this whole thing, and for me, like, this was the big thing, right? This is my family's legacy. I got to make it through, and like, I had hurt my legs somehow. Like my IT bands were killing me. My joints were killing me. I'm like, I've got to get through. So you take all the ibuprofen, you hide the braces or whatever else you need to get through it. And it's not that hard. It's just like something that I did just wrecked me. And but anyway, you get through, and then you get to jump week, and then that's easy because all you got to do is fall out of a plane because you're really not jumping.
You're not.
right?
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah,
Like throwing your body
one
out.
leg, and then you get sucked out of the bird, and then everything else is in God's hand,
Yeah.
right? So, but
wild.
what they do for your first jump, you all get you get stood up, and then you're waiting to go, and it's an individual tap out. So they make you stand in the door, then they tap you out, and you go. But it's kind of surreal because you're like, my whole life, this is what I've been preached, right? Dan, it's always been the military. It's always going to be the military. And you got to be a paratrooper. Because I remember I was like 14 years old, and I told my dad, I don't think I want to jump out of planes. Like, I don't think I need to do that. He's like, you're going to do this. I'm like, okay.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
So anyway, we're like, all right, this is it. This is like the first of 5. And, hand the static line off, and you're out. And you count to what, 4,000, and then we look up, check your canopy, and then you get to look at the site, right? So and it's Georgia. It's not a whole lot to look at, right?
Yeah.
But nonetheless, cool to be suspended in the air and to see all this. It was the 5th one, which was really nerve wracking, right? Because you made it through 4, and I didn't break anything. I didn't hurt myself any worse. But the 5th one, as I'm coming down, and like you're holding on to your suspension lines, or your right. I forget the term right now. Nonetheless, I'm holding on to holding on to my risers, and I'm getting ready to pull a slip because I'm about 100 feet off the ground. And as I'm pulling my slip, my canopy release assembly, which is what holds the riser to the harness, that pops. Now, I'm only 130 pounds, right-ish. I'm not very big, not very strong, but I've got my risers, and as I'm pulling, this pops, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, if I let go of this, that's it. I don't have enough time to use a reserve. I'm probably dead. So I pull this in.
Stress.
I get to the ground, and I'm like, praise God, I'm alive. Pack my chute up, run to the turn-in point, and my dad's there, right? He's there because after you get done with your 5th jump, you run back, and then they pin you with your wings. So my dad's there, my mom's there, and I turn my chute in, and I was like, Dad, check out what happened. And he's like, did you tell the jump master? I was like, no. Why does that matter? He's like, because that's a really serious malfunction. Now somebody else could get in that chute and they're dead. I'm like, that's somebody else's problem. Not my mess to clean up. So I was like, I'll get back and I get wings and it's all good. So, but yeah.
Dude, I feel like we had somebody else on the podcast talk about jumping out of
Perfectly good airplanes?
in the military.
Oh, yeah. Moments notice.
Greg. Yeah. He like blew out his knees.
Oh, yeah. He had
yeah.
He blew out his knees.
Yeah, it makes sense. I got bad knees too. I don't think it's from the jumping, but everybody's like, come on,
It's
Daddy.
from the CrossFit.
It's probably right.
Dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it was Greg. Man. I'm just trying to think of the dollar number that would get me to jump out of a plane.
Dude, just like Dallas, our homie that was Navy, he, for a while he hadn't landed in a plane.
Oh, yeah.
Took off in a plane, never had been in a plane that actually landed.
Right. Yep. That's the thing. It's wild. Yeah. when I was transitioning out of the Army, I had found these veteran organizations that still jump static line. And I was like, oh, cool. I think I can still do this. you got to pay them now to jump, right? So
Yeah.
you pay them to risk your own life, which is great, you know.
So because you like went through jump school and everything, if you were to just go out and like casually jump, do you still have to do tandem, or are you certified enough?
Not
to,
for
like-
skydiving.
Okay.
No, like I said, there's people who can do static line. For that, I can go ahead and do that. I'd have to provide my jump log and my certificate of graduating airborne school. But for skydiving, that's a totally different thing. And like there was a point, because I had got out active, went into the reserves for a while, and I was in an airborne unit within the reserves even, and they had this, you know, the Army's got a lot of good things in that you can get a ton of education.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was called Cool Funds. And you could go get your pilot's license. You could get your skydiving license. And I remember I was working in the air section of my unit. And my homeboy, Doug, he's like, Danny. And he's a former Navy special operations dude. He's like, Danny, we can go get our skydiving license. And I was like, Doug, I got all this work to do, bro. I don't have time. If I can get jumps in just to be current so I can get paid, that's rad. But I don't have time to do that. And so he's like, well, I'm going to do it. He's like, I don't care about all this. So he went and got his skydiving license, and our first sergeant and a couple other people were doing this for fun. And then they shut it all off. And you know, it was like years later, I'm like, you know what, man? Doug was right. He had the right attitude.
Yeah, I should have done that shit.
Forget this.
Yeah.
The Army's gonna leave me behind, and like, I want to have fun. So, but no, I still haven't looked into that. It's expensive though. Even getting your own rig and all that. No.
Just like the Parkway Drive dudes have that music video where they're skydiving,
Oh.
and they shot a music video where they did enough jumps that they can all jump, by themselves.
Yeah.
And in the video, like they were like, this was a once in a lifetime thing for us to do, and we actually got this shot. And they like perfectly got him like doing the breakdown call out right before he jumped. So he like, one life, one, give it all you've got, and then fucking jumps out of a plane. And then of course, all of Parkway Drive is like in the air, like fucking grabbing hands and
Ozzy.
doing flips and shit, but like,
These are the wild boys.
No, it's
there's a lot of time put into that just to be able to fucking,
right.
yeah.
Did you ever see or experience anything crazy, like in a jump or anything have a close call?
Well, I mean, I had one jump in Iraq, which was we were supposed to do a show of force jump, and then eventually a partnership jump with the Iraqis. Because how it works in the Iraqi airborne, they don't have an airborne school. They're just like, if we ever have to do a combat jump, you guys are it. So, so I remember like we were going to show them how it's done, and then we were going to jump with them, which is going to be a hazard all in itself, right? But as we're doing this, it's May of 2010, and it's 130 degrees out in Al-Assad, Iraq, right? Now, you get inside the aircraft, that's like another 10, 15 degrees inside there. So, of course, they're telling us, you gotta be drinking water, Gatorade, you gotta eat, you gotta make sure that you are hydrated because it's gonna be hot. And now you got all this equipment on, ruck, weapon, whatever. And I remember we're all doing that, drinking water all day long. Some of us just used the restroom before we got in our kit, because that's the thing. Like when you get into your parachute, you got to go through an inspection, right? And there's a lot of people to go through this. So you take a leak, take a dump before you get rigged up, because then you got to take it all off and get re-inspected. So
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
I have a question about
Yeah.
going to the bathroom. Was it the gum that comes with your MREs?
look, man, I never. I don't know if I ever chewed that gum.
Yeah.
I saved the Tabasco sauce all the time, but the gum, I don't remember if it really is a laxative or not.
Yeah.
I just tell you that eating an MRE will definitely stop you up.
Yeah,
That's
but
100% right.
One of my homies that I worked with was like, I would just save all my gum because like you wouldn't shit.
Yeah.
So he's like, you eat your food, you wouldn't shit, and then when you needed to go, you have this brief window of time, pop that gum in, and you're going to the bathroom.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I guess I never put it to the test, man. I was always drinking enough water and not eating all of the dang MRE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
Continue.
you're
I just had to-
So like we're all day long staying hydrated. Took a leak before I got into my parachute, but we get on the aircraft, and so there's this term when you do jumps, right? We call race tracking. The Air Force has to get X amount of hours in, and they get X amount of points for doing certain things. So, they do heavy drops, they do equipment drops or vehicle drops or whatever, but they don't really get a whole lot of points for dropping paratroopers. So I don't really care. But when they do, they just take that time to fly more. So we are circling parts in Iraq to eventually get to where the drop zone is. And I remember we get stood up. And the other thing you got to watch out for is like conditions on the drop zone. So you get stood up and you get a 10-minute warning, right? But that 10 minutes feels like, an eternity. Well, I remember I'm hooked up and we're ready to go, and somebody is going to be like, bro, look at Burke. Now, Burke is my best friend from high school, right? We ended up joining the Army together, going to airborne school together, got assigned to the same unit. And so Burke is just like maybe 5 or 6 guys behind me. So I look back, and Burke is soaked from, pant line down. He had pissed himself. It's like, we're in the aircraft for like an hour or so. It's hot. There's no place to go to the bathroom. And certainly if there was a place that we could have gone, we got all this equipment on. So then you have to like get in-flight JMPI, and somebody's just going to be really mad, and then it's going to be a bad day for you once you get to the ground. You're going to hope that your parachute doesn't work so they don't kill you later, right? So anyway, Burke is just soaked in piss.
So, but it was like a fuck it moment, right? Like, there's nowhere else to go. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You got to, because the other thing is like you hit the ground, like there's a chance that your bladder bursts, right? There's a possibility, especially you got that much in there, right? So yeah, might as well piss yourself. That's the easy solution right there. So anyway, we finally get that command to go, and we get out the door and all that, and they had briefed us in our Mako brief that you have got to get your equipment off of you, which we don't always do, because you want that stuff close by you. Certainly your weapon, right? I want to have that, as close and accessible, ready to go. So if we did have to fight, it's right here. But like, you got to get off you. And I remember I'm 100 feet off the ground, right? And I had tried releasing my rifle, and it's not going anywhere. And finally I got it off of me, and it's just hanging off on my foot, and I'm just shaking this. I'm like 20 feet off. The other problem is feet and knees together always, because if you hit with your feet spread apart, you're breaking your legs.
Some shit, yeah.
So like, it's just like all these, got all this anxiety is way through the roof, and it finally does, like 20 feet off the ground. I got it land. And the real reason was like, I got the exploded ordnance, so now I got less time for that piece of equipment to hopefully hit that, and then that stuff not to hit me. But so I get on the ground, which you think like, oh, Iraq is desert. Yeah, it's like that much sand and a whole lot of rock. So one of the hardest landings I ever had. But nonetheless, I'm good. Didn't break anything. Pack up my chute, got my rifle in action, and then starting to make it to where we're supposed to, gather up at. And I see my buddy Burke just walking next to me. Dude is dry as a bone, man. Like 140 in the aircraft, 130 outside. Like he's got all that time coming down from. Yeah. He's good to go, man. What did he, nobody even knew except for us in the plane. Yeah. And then all you who are listening too.
It's fine.
All 10 of you guys.
It's fine.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's probably and then I did have my second to last jump. I was in Colorado. With a special forces unit, and I don't know what it was, man. I never looked at any of the markings that they put on the ground or any of that stuff. I always just trusted the training, right? Because you get a different chute when you're in a special operations unit. Face into the wind, and there's ways to figure that out. But this one time, I was like, oh yeah, I see the arrow. It's pointing that way. So I'm like, I'll just turn, get it, and I'm like, man, this something ain't right? I keep going. I'm picking up speed, and I'm like, oh man, I must be in the wind. So I change to go the opposite direction, and then once I get closer to the ground, before I pull my slip, the wind changes again. So then I start running with the wind right before, and it's usually you got a proper way to fall, right? They teach you this, but no, man, I went feet, knees, face, and then got drug. So I'm like, I'm covered in dirt and blood, and like I'm catching all these sticks and thorns and whatever in my face.
Oh my gosh.
I lost my glasses too. Like it was a bad day, but I walked away. Right, so good jump. So I pack everything up. I make my way back to the buses, and this short jump master, she was first or second lieutenant, and she's like, "What happened to you?" I was like, "You idiots put the arrow out on the ground facing the wrong way." She's like, that was an A. And I was like, mind you, I'm a staff sergeant yelling at this lieutenant, not exactly okay, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's really gonna say much. But I get back to the office, and my boss, who's a master sergeant, he's like, what happened to you? And I was like, I told him this story, and he's like, yeah, I heard. So this is your fault. And I was like, oh, God. Yeah. He's like, so you're going to retraining tomorrow. You'll be at the pack shed tomorrow to go through the T11 training, or not the T11, whatever, MC6 training. So I'm like, all right, cool. I guess that's fair. I'm not getting, nothing else has happened to me. Just got to go through training again. And then I got another jump out of it. So it's all good. Yeah, man. So that's like really, really it. Like no terrible jumps. I did have a buddy who was a chaplain's assistant, though. He jumped out, and then we became a towed jumper. So that means your static line didn't pop, and it just stayed connected to your main. The problem is if you get other jumpers out there, there's a probability of them hitting you, right?
Oh, geez.
And that's exactly what happened. They hit him and knocked him unconscious. So he's just like, like this, and nobody can get his attention to, and he's not signaling and covering his reserve. The other problem is the reserve deployed on him. Now, the problem with that is when you're being towed behind an aircraft and that happens, typically that can like maybe jar you free, or maybe it rips you apart,
Fuck.
So he's unconscious, that's happening, and the whole policy is we're going to pull you back in the aircraft. But with that, you can't, because there's another chute deployed.
Yeah.
So the only thing they can do is cut him free. So that's what they did. So my buddy Hamby is coming to the ground. Not Hamby. Oh, Hamilton. Sorry, man. Nonetheless, he's coming to the ground, and then he lands unconscious, but face up in a puddle. So like, dude really could have died.
Yeah.
And then after that, I know he got discharged from the military, but nonetheless, like, that's probably the worst that I've had close to me. I've had other people who had, people who got their heads popped off, ripped their biceps all the way down to their wrists. But hey, I had pretty, all things considered, mine were nothing,
Just some sticks and
Yeah,
shit.
dude, I'm good.
A tough landing.
You can't fix ugly, but that's why I get tattooed, bro.
So any songs about jumps?
No, not a single one. I don't even know what to start with that. I don't know how to communicate that to nobody, man. Words are hard, so.
This is a perfectly good play.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah.
You ever get stuck in like a tree or anything?
Yes, yeah, I did once. I aimed for it. I did. So, and it's because we're going to Kentucky. It was in the 82nd, 1st Brigade. We're going to do an air show. And so we jump out, and you get the brief, this is what the drop zone's going to look like. This is where you should try to aim for. Well, I get over there, and I'm going to be landing on the tarmac. And I'm like, nah, nope, I'm definitely breaking something there. I'll take my chance with the trees. So I come all the way to the trees, and I remember, you cover your face and all that. So I'm going through the trees. My canopy goes over top of like 2 or 3 trees. So I come down and I touch the ground and bounce back up, and then I'm, like 4 inches off the ground. So I'm like, sick. I get out of my harness. Meanwhile, there's a guy like this. He is screaming, ah! I'm like, and somebody, there's folks in there who are like tree detail, and they're trying to deal with all this, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, that dude's having a bad day. I'll see you later. Yeah, have fun getting my shoot. So, yeah.
Oh, so you could just leave your shoot and bail?
Oh yeah, because that's their whole deal. They're on that detail for a reason. They gotta cut it all out. That's not my problem, man.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So that's it. I mean, like it was a good time. It really was. I miss it, but we're here now.
I'm happy you had that, man. And I'm
Yeah.
happy there are people like you that choose to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And so you had mentioned when we were talking earlier that you in the military, you were out for a bit and you went back, right?
Right.
And was there music in between?
No. So like I got out in 2012. It was during a drawdown. So my unit was slated to go to Afghanistan. Now I had wanted to go to Afghanistan a lot because there was an opportunity to really do my job out there, right? Yeah. And I know it's sick and twisted, but for other service members, I know that they can understand. Like you kind of want to know that level of suck to relate. And I never really got that. I got some things, maybe they're different experiences than others, but I never got the full combat experience. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to go, but at the time, that's where I believed the Lord was telling me, like, get out and go play music, right? Yeah. I got you, and I was like, okay, and I did. Initially, I did. We had some stuff working for us, and somebody got us on a really cool tour, but nobody had saved any money for that tour, and they had like 6 months to prep for it. But when I found out, and it was I was getting out, supposed to get out in July, and during this drawdown, I was offered get out 3 months early or deploy to Afghanistan and get an extra $500 a month. And I was like, bump that, I'm doing this. Yeah. So I'm gonna go out, and then we were supposed to go on tour. Started the last day that I was in the Army. So I had all my terminal leave, played some shows, was like really on this, and then I found out the week of nobody saved anything, and so I said, forget it, I'm done, right? So I canceled the tour and whatever. And at the time I was I was buddies with Danny from 7 Dagger Records, and he had tried hooking me up with one of his bands at the time who had lost their vocalist. And then I was like, I don't want to move to where they're at, so I'm not going to do that. And then he's like, well, I got these other guys that would be interested. And he's like, I think you'd be a really good fit. Because it was really funny, man. Like this, Danny never texted me. We never talked on the phone. He, not really. He would like, let me know, hey, let's go get lunch this day. Yeah. So I just go hang out with him at his print shop. We get lunch, we hang out. And, I had given him our first EP and then our second one. And he had called me up after the whole thing broke up. And he's like, hey, man, he never calls me, right? He called me at like 7 o'clock in the morning. Hey, dude, I just want to let you know I just listened to your EP. Your band sucks. He's like, but you're good. He's like, I was like, well, it's all done. And he's like, well, I got some other guys that can do it. And that's where he said, there's this band, and I'll send your stuff to them. And then when I said like that's not gonna work, he said I've got some other dudes, and so he said I think you'd be a really good fit. And that didn't work out eventually, and that's really where I was like, I'm done with music altogether. I'm going back in the Army, and I thought I had found some ways to get back in, and that took me 3 years to get back, and I got married at the time, so I was like, no music. And then I knew too, I was like, I'm never playing in a straight edge band again, not doing this stuff, and I just took a very long break from it all. I got back in, went into the Special Forces program. I quit because I had a lot of things going on, and I just couldn't hang mentally. I was not present for that. And so I quit on that, but they reclassed me to an Intel MOS I had at the time, and they're like, you need a language to maintain this. And I said, well, cool, I got a good aptitude score, let me get Russian. And they're like, well, how about French? I was like, well, I guess. Like, we want to keep you within this community, so go do that because we need French linguists. So I went and learned French, and then at that time I just started listening to French rap and pop. Hell yeah. And so it was like I just totally disconnected from everything, nothing new. So like I didn't even know about no bragging rights. I didn't know anything that y'all had done. I didn't know anybody. The only thing I was really listening to was like Terror occasionally, the Mongoloids, and a few other face down bands, and that was it. Gallows from the UK. Yeah. But it just stopped. So it was kind of weird because like I still was repping straight edge pretty hard, and like what the people are like, what is this? Like like well, it's this subculture within punk rock, and I'm like I don't even don't even like hang out with anybody like this anymore.
Yeah.
I don't play this music. And then I was facing some things in my career that required me to have a relationship with alcohol. Like they say, like you don't have to, but I had learned through some, experiences with missions that I did, no, I need to figure this out. And I was like, I don't know, maybe this isn't really for me. But it turns out like I don't really care for alcohol that much anyway. So like I did break edge and whatever. People can say like if you're not now, you never were, and maybe they're right.
I mean, if it's for work, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, right.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count if it's for work.
But I don't know. Like it's it's not really. I don't know. But alcohol's never really been a part of my life. I had my first drink when I was almost 30 years old, and for a lot of people, they're like, yeah, well, I can't do it anymore because I was drinking since like
Yeah, I went too
9
hard
years
in my
old.
20s.
Yeah, like that. And I'm like, man, I started off and I just like bougie stuff, This is expensive. So if I was going to have something, then, it's going to be worth it for me.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I don't really have time. And me and my kids play this Star Wars game, and it's a trading card game. I don't have time. I don't have money for alcohol. I got to buy cards, dude. My son's going to beat me with his deck. So priorities, dude.
Dude, I remember when I was in school for music, I went through a period where I was like, edge, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And I was starting to claim straight edge shit.
Broke, you mean?
Well, and at some point in time, I was like in the studio with somebody talking to them, and they're like, "So what's this like straight edge thing?" So same thing. I explained to them, and they're like, "So you just don't drink and smoke and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Why do you have to tell everybody?"
Yeah. Exactly.
And I was like, "That's a fair point."
Yeah.
I don't know. And then after that, it was just kind of like, "Well, I got, whatever."
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
My favorite
California edge.
is Martin. Martin.
Who's Martin?
He's a drummer for No Bragging Rights.
Oh, okay.
He had stopped drinking.
Oh.
we blast on this all the time, but he had stopped drinking, and he made a post about it on Facebook. And obviously, he's going. I forget how he worded it, but basically he's taking alcohol out of his life. Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Feels so much better because taking alcohol is like.
Yeah, and so obviously like our straight edge friends, the whole community is like, oh dude, awesome, like, welcome, good for you. So then like we have guys showing up to shows and like buying him sodas and they're taking him out to lunch and all that stuff. What he should have put on this post about this, wanting to be clear and change his life, is that I'm not gonna drink anymore. But I'm gonna smoke
a whole lot of
the
weed.
I'm gonna smoke.
Oh my god.
All of it. So like, I like to give you a hard time for that, but
Semantics, dude.
That's what you call California sober.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I'd be there like watching guys like getting them like Red Bull and stuff. I'm just like,
So when I had broke, and that's when I was in the Special Forces unit at the time and figuring this whole thing out. And I came to this point where they sent me to Army SEER school, right? And mind you, I've never smoked a cigarette up until this point. But after being starved for 3 days, not sleeping for almost 3 days, pretty delirious, like your mental faculties aren't all there.
That cigarette slapped, huh?
Yeah, but I remember, in the scenario, the guards are like, they try talking to you, try to get you to say things so they can use it against you and whatnot. And I remember they offered me a cigarette, and I was like, yeah. I thought, like, I can build rapport with these guys. Maybe I can flip them in this scenario. We can, like, get out of here because this sucks. And I remember they were like, yeah, you want a cigarette? I'm like, yeah, I've never had a cigarette. Like, let's go for it. And so I had one. And then, like, within a 30-minute span of them talking to me, I had a second one. So I was not doing good, man. Not at all. Just being beat down. And then that, like, super bad headache. This is miserable. And then after the scenario, the guy was like, so was that really your first cigarette? I was like, yeah, man. He's like, what were you thinking? I was like, well, I thought I built rapport.
I thought we were cool, man.
I'm also not like getting beat down at that time. So yeah, why not? And he's like, not in the scenario. I was like, I get that now. It didn't work. But
That's cool.
yeah.
Try the reverse psychology method.
Yeah, you know, whatever.
So then what was the next music? When did music come back?
Oh, so yeah, so this, I mean, my life when I got out, and then when I went back in, like, and I did get married, but like, there's a lot of things that had happened, and it didn't start off, well, right? We didn't start off on the foot that we wanted to. Had a lot of, other interference. We'll just say that. But I also was dealing with a major identity crisis because of the military, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I told y'all, I was told it's always been the military. It's always going to be. So I didn't plan for anything when I was in high school. I legitimately, I was like, I'm going to
tunnel vision, dude.
even like my junior year. We're coming to the end of it, and like you get your new schedule. I'm like, what's SAT prep? And the teacher's like, well, yeah, it's the test you got to take to go to college. You're going to go to college. You got to get ready. I'm like, I'm not going to college. I'm going in the Army. And she's like, nah, you're going to college. So that's when I signed my contract that summer. Came back, and I was like, hey, I need this off my schedule. I need another study hall here. She's like, no, you got to get ready for college. And I slapped my contract down. I'm like, nah, I'm going in the Army, right?
Yeah.
So, I had this major identity crisis. Like, I've got to be in the Army. I've got to be doing this thing. And that's all my focus was on. And so that led to a lot of problems in our marriage. And so from that time to getting back in, and then, dropping out of the Special Forces pipeline, and, going on, we just had so many issues. And like, that's where, I thought I had the problem with pornography figured out, and I didn't. I got hooked on that stuff when I was, like 9 years old. Me and my brother were exposed to some things. I talked to you guys about it earlier. It's like, we came from a divorced family. So like, my mom lived in North Carolina. My dad we're in Maine. And, she was not always in the greatest neighborhood. So you get exposed to certain things, right? But I got hooked on porn real early on. And then I became a Christian. Like, things were starting to get better. But getting into the military, that is a normal thing. Like, guys having terabytes, and that just seems crazy to say, like, terabytes of porn, and they just hand you a hard drive and like, yeah, just download it onto yours and whatever. So like, dealing with that major identity crisis of not being in, and I got out to do all this stuff, I'm like, that's my drug, right? I'd get on that, and so I took that into my marriage, and that causes problems for like, the connection aspect. Well, the ultimate end of all of that is, it can ultimately lead to adultery, and for me, it did, right? So I did, I hid that, and I hid that on a, going into a deployment, and then when I came back, it had to come out. I did talk about that, and then that was 2018. So like, things are rough all of 2018, going into 2019. And then 2019, things are getting better, right? Towards the end, and we got orders. We're going back to North Carolina now. Like sick, we're going to be back around our community. But then 2020 hits, and then like I had shared before, like, I had a lot of things going for me in my career. I had letters from my leadership from my previous unit of, he's ready to go do all these other great things. Send him now, and when 2020 came, it just halted all of that. And so I'm in this, like, still dealing with this identity crisis of like, I've got to be a soldier, I've got to be elite, I've got to do all this, and I can't. And even though I'm training hard, and I got really fast and really strong, I was ready to go, but not allowed to do it. I started, falling right back into all that. Like, an addiction went harder this time.
Yeah.
And then I had another instance of adultery during that time, and I hid that from my wife until February of 22. And this is the awful part, right? Because I made a lot of decisions of where we're going and the moves I'm trying to make, and kind of in spite of my family.
So you're doing like these are you decisions.
These
not
are 100%
everybody.
me
Yeah.
decisions. Even like I'll say the two organizations I was offered to work for at the time, one didn't give me exactly what I wanted, but what it would have allowed me to do is keep my brand new house that before we moved, we were offered to reduce it down to a 1% interest rate. So we would have been under $1,000 a month for this brand new house in this incredible neighborhood. We had the pool, the neighborhood pool directly behind our house. All this stuff going for us. And then you find out later on, like, oh no, you could have progressed from here to go do all the other things you wanted. So I had all that, but because this organization had another shiny object that they, waved at me that I could have gone back here, I took that. So, and it was hard for my wife because we have moved so much, right? We went from Carolina to California for language school, California to Colorado, back to North Carolina. And this is within a 4-year span. That's a lot of moving. It's a lot of friends that we made that now I got to uproot them and we have to build our whole circle all over again.
Kids.
With kids, yep. And at this time, we just had our youngest, Magnolia. She's only about a year old when we go to Maryland. And the world is shut down. And I can't really do anything. And I'm also amongst the population that says, I'm not taking what you're giving me.
Yep.
And I'm trying to fight that battle while I'm trying to hold this secret. And it's killing me. And when I finally did come out with all this to my wife, I was in the middle of a workout and I got this battle between what I would say is the enemy and the Holy Spirit, and just saying like, he's saying like, you're not really saved. Look at you. Like how can you hold all this, and not be walking in, honesty, and you're going to call yourself a Christian? And I got the Holy Spirit just saying, you got to go confess this to your wife.
Yeah.
So I stopped. The real awful thing is like that day I was supposed to go get an award for like crushing it at work. I was doing excellent, right? Like my boss at the time was like, man, you're he's saying you're killing it. There's some other words, right, that I could use, but I won't. But nonetheless, he's like, you're killing it, man. And so I go upstairs and I tell my wife all this. And of course it crushes my wife, And then I'm like, yeah. And I get to go to work and get an award. So it was at that point where I'm like, I don't know what to do. And I told her, I was like, you have every right to leave. And I'm like, I don't want you to leave, but I totally get it if I come back and you're not here.
Yeah.
But she's like, nope, I'm going to stick it out. And she's awesome for that. And we've hurt each other in a lot of different ways. Like the people you're closest to hurt you the most. Yeah. And so we've hurt each other in so many ways, and we deal with a lot of the same things. Like she's got her own story, and I can't share all that, but nonetheless, I'm trying to walk in open, honest, and transparently with all this, and like going to get real help from people, being accountable to people, learning how to be honest about these things. Because as a man, you're like, I don't want to tell people I'm failing. And I certainly don't want to tell my wife that I'm like watching pornography all the time. And, because that kills her. But that's what I'm having to do. So every time I'm doing this, I got to go tell her. I got to tell my leaders, my mentors, right? And then we go to Maine. I had never taken my wife to Maine, but took her back home, and we're visiting with friends and whatever. And I just remember we were driving back from that trip. It was a really great trip. But I'm like, well, hey, God, if you want me to do, if you let me do music again, I want to do that. And then it was at that time I got introduced to a band called Lifelong, which is just like a side project of Joel Piper on Tooth and Nail. I was like, if I was going to play anything, it'd be something like this.
Yeah.
So I started listening to that, trying to practice vocals again. And then by the end of that year, so 2022, is when I found out about Furnace Fest, and I found out about this, the Labeled podcast, and listened to all this. And I remember, do you guys remember in 2022, like there were this big problem with the airlines, right? All the thousands of flights got canceled.
Yeah.
Well, my in-laws had decided we're going to, instead of going to Tennessee, we're gonna just fly everybody up to us for Christmas. And so we're like, cool. I don't have to drive. This is awesome, you know? So I remember we get in the airport and we got, got our Jamba Juice and everybody got their snacks and we're ready to get on the plane, and then canceled. Everything's canceled. Everything is done. So we're like, well, we got to get there. And I was like, well, I don't know, maybe we just rent a van. We'll rent a van and then we'll go all the way up there. So my wife's like, I'm on it. Right, got everything all in line. I tried to recover as many bags as I could. The other bags were making their way already to Minnesota. I don't know how that works, but that's how it works, right? So we just hightail it there, and we just listen to these podcasts all the way up. And by the time I get to Keys Cafe in St. Paul, Minnesota, to link up with my in-laws and my brother-in-law, his family, I'm convinced I'm playing music again, right? So we developed this whole plan, me and my brother-in-law, because I was going to try to start it with him and a couple other guys from North Carolina. But it, not that it wasn't working, but there was a difference in music approach, right? And I'm like, he liked this band, what are they called? I forget. Times of Grace or something. It's the Killswitch Engage. Some of the guys from Killswitch Engage are in that. Okay. I remember listening. I'm like, I hate this. Why do I hate this? And he's like, you hate this? This is like so and so from Killswitch Engage. I was like, that's why, because I can't stand that band. And he's like, what? Oh, yeah. So I'm like, no, I want to do something else. Well, that's when I met Kyle, and that's where No Treaty was born, right? It wasn't called No Treaty at the time, but that's what it would develop into. But I had got all the equipment, right? So I'm like, I leave on a Wednesday. We do another 20-hour drive through the night back to Maryland, and I find a dude on Facebook Market, because my brother-in-law was like, dude, you got to like build this equipment over time. You're not gonna be able to find it all in one spot. Nah, this dude, he had the same here, the SM7B. He had a Scarlett Focusrite interface, and something else I need. I think he had a pair of headphones. But as I'm talking to him, he's like, oh, I found a cloud lifter. I'll chuck this in there. And I was like, are you available tomorrow night? I need you to come get this, right? So I drive to this dude's place, and he's got some apartment in DC, really nice stuff. He's like, I've only used this like once for trying to do a podcast, and then I gave up on it. So like, here it is. And he's like, oh, take these cables, take this thing, take that. I'm walking out all this crap, and I'm like, this is wild. Like, it's all here, and that's it. And then that's how we just leaned into doing No Treaty and writing.
It was just you and Kyle at first?
Yeah.
And so was it all DIY? Like, just we're recording everything ourselves? And
yeah, well, because that's what we had. Like, kind of broke, right? Made some bad decisions with trying to live out of an RV, and it didn't work out. So I had a lot of debt to deal with and some other things.
Van life isn't always what it's glorified to be, man.
So yeah, but we did. We were like, well, we can do the majority of it. Record here, right here, pass tracks back and forth. Because that's what I told him. I was like, I've done this before, but I was in Iraq. Yeah, this is easy. So that's what we did. So
do you play guitar too, or?
No, I played nothing, man. Played them. Yeah, I just run around and stage dive on people. Yeah. So I learned drums when I was in high school, but I wouldn't ever call myself a drummer, right? Yeah. We we have home fellowship at our house, and I'll like beat on a cajon, but that's about it. So, yeah.
Drummers have the best stage presence.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there we go. I guess.
But Martin can never do it. He'll just become unstoppable.
Yeah. I had learned just recently about like Converge. That dude wasn't supposed to be the vocalist.
Oh, really?
Dang, I can't remember his name right now. I forget his name, man. It's gone.
This is gonna bother everybody.
Yeah.
I refuse to look it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but nonetheless, like I think he was supposed to be playing bass or guitar, and then they were like, no, how about you do this?
That's usually how it goes,
right,
though.
Right.
Like that's how I became the vocalist for every band
I was supposed to play rhythm guitar and then backup vocals. And then Joey, our singer, never showed up.
Oh. Joe Sanchez.
Yeah, dude. And I think imagine had he done it with how charismatic and outgoing. Like, he is a front man.
He is a front man. Yeah.
He's a front man.
He's also 4 feet tall.
Yeah. Which would have made him
Yeah.
He'd be
Great.
backflipping. He'd be fucking jumping everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there's me. I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I was tired. Like, literally, we'd have, like, band practice. And, like, I was writing the songs. So I was like, I always want to write.
Yeah.
Writing the songs. And then we're just sitting there in silence. Just like, this is stupid. I was like, I'll sing.
Yeah.
I'll sing until we find somebody. Search for 2 years. Nobody wanted to sing my songs.
Well, shoot, I gotta sing them.
To be fair, your voice though,
Yeah.
like, you sing pretty high.
Yeah.
Very high.
Now I do. I don't think I was singing high back then.
You were still hitting high
Even my good
notes.
buddies were like, "It's cool what you guys are doing. It's good for you guys."
That's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Converge lead singer is Jacob Banner.
Yeah.
Jacob.
Yeah.
I kept wanting to say Jason, but I was like, "It's not Jason."
But you're back doing, like, we're trying to learn some other vocals stuff, right? For No Bragging Rights.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. How is that going?
I'll show you.
Yeah. Sick.
I'll
Cool.
show you. It's different, right?
It's different, but it's also like almost feels like a return to form.
Yeah.
You know, like
I
this
feel
is
that.
like this is where the band should have been.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then you guys went like left, which it wasn't bad, but it was just more of a, like 2 dudes primarily writing rather than 5 dudes writing.
Yeah.
Right. And so it feels like, all right, let's get back to what we all do.
Yeah.
And the new songs rip.
Yeah, we wrote 2 songs like together, like first time in a room
Yeah.
since like 2014.
That's awesome.
And so it was just kind of like writing on, you know, what felt good. And so and then with that, like, I had been watching for a while now. I was like, I feel like since we've been back, and I don't want to blame it on the fact that I'm like older,
Yeah.
but I was like, I don't feel like my scream is very strong. Like, I really hyper focus on my singing. I always want my singing to be strong.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm screaming just to like get myself to my singing parts.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be stronger. So then I started watching like a bunch of videos and you know, trying to actually like implement warm-ups that like are for that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, just went into record and like it's just different.
Yeah.
So
That's good. Yeah, there's a lot of folks who, Danny Maldonado, who I'm doing Nomads with, he's like, man, there's no technique. I just get in there and I yell as hard as I can. I'm like, dude, I wish I could do that. And yesterday when we were playing JCHC, I guess the difference, we had a show the day before, and then that, excellent sound
yourself,
equipment,
right?
right? Excellent sound equipment at JCHC. Not that great at the other show. I could hear myself better there.
yeah.
And here I like you ask my wife if somebody has the recording. I'm sure I tried to do something at the beginning and I could not. I don't know why. Like my mind just went wherever it went, and I couldn't hear myself at all. Couldn't figure out where a clean note was or nothing, and I ended up throwing my voice out. So like
'Cause you're
that's
pushing to hear.
it's the first 15 seconds, and then the rest of it I'm like, well, whatever. I guess I'm just like frying this whole thing. So that's what I did pretty much. But technique is so valuable. Even that, like, okay, I threw it out. Can't really, pitch yell or anything now. But I can just use the fry technique, and that's gonna be all right. So
And it's good to have all those like in your pocket too, where if it's like, fuck, I'm struggling right now, let me just switch it up. And 90% of people won't notice, right? Like there's,
yeah.
sounds great. But the 10% are like, you switch something, you're doing something different,
Yeah, we had that. I remember we did that weekend thing, and the venue's a sick venue, but like we had done in-ears for the first time. So I'm like, oh, it's that.
Yeah.
Not realizing that I think Martin and I had like switched.
So yeah,
Our channels were switched. We didn't know it.
you're getting
And
each
so-
other's mixes.
He's
Yeah.
just getting me like full blown. I'm I'm like, I couldn't hear myself.
Yeah.
Martin's like, this sucks.
he's like, I hear.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. So then I blew like I remember blew my voice out, and I was just like,
Yeah.
dude, this is not. Yeah, pushing, man. It's the worst.
It is. It's
The
terrible.
worst. You can have, like you said, small PA or
Mm-hmm.
so, or even sometimes you don't even have a PA. You don't even have a monitor, but just the way the room is, and you can still hear yourself like
Right,
somehow.
right.
Like,
Yeah, the Guttermouth show. We played with Guttermouth
Oh.
last week, 2 weeks ago,
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago.
2 weeks ago, and not a proper venue by any means.
Yeah.
It was like a
Sports
sports betting
racing.
bar,
Yeah.
but like we could hear everything great. Like I could hear everything, he could hear everything, and you like just that simple fact. Like you were coming through strong
Yeah,
that night.
that was
And then we turn around and we'll play like a show at a venue, and it's like as soon as we start playing, fuck did the monitors go?
Yeah. Right.
Like what just happened?
right.
We sound checked and this sounded tight. Now we're playing. There's nothing here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, my wife was like, you know what, you guys all sounded great in a house mix, and I did notice. I got like close to the edge, and I was like, oh, I can hear myself. This is sick. Nah, I should have just hung out there.
just go in the crowd, dude.
Yeah,
do you do in-ears or
not in Nomads. I did in No Treaty. I bought a really nice set from Wave, and I mean, it was a game changer, right? And we finally got a rig that worked out well. And we've talked about maybe we're gonna do this, maybe we're not. But it's like I don't know if it's like the pride of it all. But you're like, it's not hardcore, But what's not hardcore is blowing your voice out
Yeah.
and like
And sound
not
like
being
shit.
able to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Like there's a way to do it where you can like simplicity. You don't have to run tracks. You don't have to run all the.
Right.
would you
Just
ever do a
hear.
wireless mic?
No, I hate it. I have done it. I hate it.
Trying to get me to do it. I'm like,
It doesn't feel right. That's it. I have to be tied to something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
maybe it doesn't offer much, but I can still hide behind that
For-
little
Yeah.
rope right here.
I will say this, as a vocalist, the mic looks cooler with a cable.
yeah.
It doesn't look as cool with a wireless.
Right.
He almost got me, or maybe I got myself. But he's telling me like, dude, just use wireless mic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ghost Inside uses it. I'm like, okay, we're not Ghost Inside, but and then I can't remember if you or I said it was like, wait, does Scott use the
No
wireless?
way.
And in my mind, I'm like, oh my god, if Scott
Yeah.
uses wireless, then I feel like that's the ultimate pass.
Sure.
He does not.
Nah.
He doesn't.
He does not.
All right. Good.
Why was I trying to sell you so hard on the? Was it just to be
I don't
like?
know.
Was it just to be contradictory to what you?
Probably.
Yeah. Because I'll fight all day for a wireless on my guitar,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
but
yeah.
but
Necessary.
I'm not carrying around a fucking receiver for a microphone.
That's just safety on stage.
It does just sound like I was probably just trying to argue with you.
I know. Yeah.
You brought up the Britney Spears mic.
Oh no, that I was serious about.
Yeah.
Oh, the one that
yeah.
just sits here.
There's
I'll
also
do
the
that.
one that sits on your chest,
I
like
want
it
that
holds
one.
your
I want
microphone on your
that
chest. That was
I'll do
awesome.
that. I was gonna say, I was like, I'll have my hands more free for groping and violence.
Oh man.
Yeah. All right, so then, so you're jamming with Kyle, and we have to get into the weeds of what happened, but
Sure.
dude, just from my perspective,
Yeah.
you guys popped up. Actually, my old drummer, not even in hardcore, he's a punk rock dude, and he was the one he's like, hey, what do you think of this? Send it to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is overtly Christian.
Yeah.
I kind of love it. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Let's see what else I got. And I was like, dude, this is sick. And then you guys started popping up all over my
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And so you started jamming with Kyle, and then what's that journey?
Yeah. So, I mean, we had wrote Deep. That was the first song we did, and then we assembled in 23. I drove down to him, and he had just moved from Oregon. His wife was in the Coast Guard. Moved out to South Carolina, in an area that they were hoping to land, right? Something around there. And so I drove out. We met there, and I really thought. I mean, maybe you guys all see that or think that you talk to somebody for a while, and then you're like, he's probably gonna be like 6 foot tall. No, Kyle's like 5'6", right? Pretty short. I mean, I'm 5'9", so I know I'm not that much taller. I was like, dude, I thought you were gonna be way taller. I thought you had arms like, they were like 3 feet long. He's like, nah, right? So anyway, we got in the studio. We recorded deep. That was a very, emotional experience. A very, I'm not big on like spiritual experiences, but it was. But the night before we went into the studio and the day after, we wrote Trumpet together. So that was super cool. I had it the day that I reached out to Kyle was the same day I was traveling back from Minnesota to Maryland in January of 23. And it was like on the way back, I just remembered this set of lyrics that I really wanted to, and it was Trumpet. And like I reformed them and was trying to figure them out for some other patterns. But when he was like, oh, just check this out, right? And I was like, I know what's going in that breakdown. And so it was there, and we kind of built it out from there. And then John Lorbacher, he's the one who sung the chorus on the EP. But I wrote that chorus, and I did it only as to like, just offer something else that was a little bit different, because I was just yelling this thing. And I was like, let me just try it. And so Ryan LaTrue was the guy who was producing all this. And so I remember I recorded something, I sent it to Kyle, and he's like, I don't know if I really get it. And then he sent it to our buddy Garrett, who cleaned it all up, and then sent it to Ryan, and we had our production call, and Ryan was like, you have to do this. And I was like, but man, I don't want to sing. And he's like, it sounds better. And like, I was not going to win that debate. Yeah. It was obvious. It was just the same debate like when we did Monolith, where Mike, I had given him some liberty to do some stuff, and Mike Felker, and he's like, do you mind if I like change? I didn't know how much he was going to change, but he just wiped all this stuff out, did something else. And I remember we got it back, and Kyle and I were listening to it. He called me up. He's like, so what do you think? I was like, well, obviously he did way better than I did, so we have to keep this. It was similar to that. Like, I'm not going to win it. Like it's right. I'm like, but I can't sing that clean and do all the harsh stuff that I'm doing. I just don't have that skill at that time. And so we ended up bringing John in, and that happened about August time frame. Yeah, because I was in France for a little bit. And that's where we had our name change. We were under something else. And then it was just like, maybe it's not really working. I'm like, well, I'm open to changing it. I got this thing, right? Like if you complain about something, like come with a solution, right? If you don't have a solution, I'm just going to accuse you of being a whiner. And then I'm just going to keep doing what I was doing. But I was hearing Kyle out like, okay, maybe there's something else. Maybe I can give on this. And then it hit me, was like, well, no treaty. Like, what does this mean? And, I had a whole thing built out, and was like, this, I think we should do this, and bounce it off of him, bounce it off of Mike Felker, and they're like, yeah, it goes pretty hard. Let's go with this. And so that's where the name came in. And then as we start moving forward, I'm like, bro, we got 5 songs. They're not all recorded, but we need to play a show. He's like, nah, we can't do that. And this was the funny thing is, he's like, I had told him a hypothetical scenario, because we had Mike Felker on this. I'm like, what happens if like Mike says, hey, we're gonna be playing somewhere, do you guys want to like open and fill in? What if that happens? He's like, well, yeah, and we just get it together. I was like, well, let's get it together now.
Yeah.
Well, it just so happens that our first show was with Confessions of a Traitor and Convictions. So that's what we did. We played with Mike that first time. We opened the show, and that's what it was. But so we do that, and Monolith got released a couple of weeks after we played our first show, and that's kind of getting some traction, and some people are picking up, saying, making some comments. And then we released Forget, and then Forget really got picked up by Kingdom Core. Kingdom Core started pushing it, and then, before we, because I had a video with it, and then before long we went and did the Trumpet video at LCY in Birmingham. And when that released, man, that just exploded all over the internet. And then we had the rest of the EP that released too. And then it just climbed from there, right? And I had known in March 23, that it was clear it's time to get out of the Army, right? Got it. And I was being offered a lot of things. Like, I need to make some decisions. I remember telling my boss, I had left for a trip. And before that trip, he's like, look, man, I know I asked you to come do this job, but I really need you to do this other thing because somebody left and, you know, I know you're squared away. And I was like, well, look, he's a lieutenant colonel, but it's just different organization. I was like, listen, Jeff, I have offers to go other places and I'm ready to put that in and leave this place. He's like, I totally get it, but I need you to just do this. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to do it, but I am going to start applying for other things. Then I leave on this trip, and when I come back, I was like, I got to apologize. I'm actually going to get out. And he's like, I explained to him this whole thing. I had another, you know, experience on this trip and was like, no, it is. Me and my wife got clear direction. It's time to get out. Yeah. He's like, and he's a believer too. So he's like, I get it. He's like, and do whatever you need to do to get yourself ready. So I was doing this job as an admin dude and trying to build No Treaty out. So Kyle and I put in a lot of work to get this going. And then I did an internship up in Minnesota at a church. And the whole goal was we're going to be there. And they were just going to keep sending us out to go do No Treaty stuff. It's a small church. We don't really have a lot. But they sent me out and covered a lot of our expenses. Yeah. So it was like April 2025. We did the first JCHC Fest. And then got out, went on tour. And then did a couple other things, and then of course it all collapsed. But then it was like, so that was 2025. July of 2025, we played Audio Feed, second year in a row. It was amazing. We had some really cool footage from that, but we also had an incredible response. We had an incredible response all over. But I met Danny Maldonado, who's in Clear Convictions, who that was one of their first shows back doing stuff. And him and I have been talking for a while, right? And he's just a good buddy and encouraged me to just keep going forward. But we hung out during the Audio Feed, and then he took off. He had to come out to the Twin Cities where I'm at and for work. And it was my daughter's birthday. And I'm like, hey, just come eat with us. So we ate and hung out, and then he was hanging at our place. He's like, do you want to just start like a straightforward hardcore project on the side? I was like, well, yeah, you're my buddy. I love hardcore. And so that's what we did. And we were writing all this stuff, and like No Treaty was in we were developing out and almost finished a whole record, right? Mm-hmm. But man, I'm like, Danny says it to me all the time. Danny, you sprint. Like you just want to go. And I'm like, yeah, it's just from the military. When you get an opportunity, you just cram it all in there, right? Yeah. And so, we're trying to write. We bring in Ryan from Officer Negative. We're trying to get things moving, and then of course it collapses. So like, I'm crushed, right? Like, this is what I left the Army to do. This is where I saw all this stuff. So you guys saw how it was building. Yeah. I'm like, well, yeah, it makes sense. I'm getting out to go do this, and then you're like, what did I do? Like, so much so that the day of me getting out of the Army, that whole time from March of 23, I have literally been offered anything anybody could ask for in the military. You could do all these cool things. And even to that very moment I signed my last document, the lady there is like, she's mocking me, she's like, I'm looking at your records here. You got all this stuff going for you. You'll be back. Dang. And I'm like, no way. What she didn't know is that I was driving after I signed that, I was driving to Delaware to go get my hands blasted. So I was like, forget this, I'm not. And then I did. I got them blasted, and then I drove 18 hours back to Minnesota, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe not the smartest move. I remember like I got somewhere on the other side of Pennsylvania, pulled over to a rest stop, and my hands are swollen, right? The skin's folded over, and I'm like, I hope I don't get an infection cleaning this in a rest stop, but I did. So get back, whatever. And then leading up to that final show that No Treaty had, I had made a friend in Boston who had been listening to No Treaty. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, dude, I got to drop a guy off at a drug and rehab program in Maine. Me and my wife are going to come through, and on the way back, we had to hit a festival. Can you like tattoo my neck? And he's like, yeah, dude, sick, let's do it.
You just went job killers right away.
Yeah,
right?
100%, man. So
I'm never going back.
never, and that was the whole goal, right?
Yeah.
But
Wait, so did you know this was the last No Treaty show?
no, did not know, because that only happened a month later. Everything happened, right? So, so I got all this, and now I'm like, look, I'm set. I can't go back. But like, so I'm crushed, man. I don't know what to do. I've got a lot of friends who've come around, support and be an encouragement and everything. But the one thing was like, well, there's not a whole lot I can do, because you can't really get people to like talk, see it your way, nothing, right? And like, I think we're all pretty obstinate, in our own regard. So nothing's happening. And really, I have this, sense like, I can't say anything. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to be quiet. Yeah. And I've got nomads here. And so I'm just going to focus on this. And that's what we did. So we had a lot of things happening in that. Like Danny's writing, punching music out. It actually felt very similar to how the songs in No Treaty got formed at the speed that they did and the quality, And so I'm sending this stuff out to other folks like, hey, what do you think? What do you, And a lot of people are like, man, I really love this. So you have some other things that are maybe in the works, but that's been my transition. But during this last 8 months has been awful, right? So I got a lot of haters, right? Which typically I wouldn't have a problem with. I've been hated on before by, even my own family. So like whatever. Yeah. But this hit in a different way. And of course I'm questioning like, man, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? I got people like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I got all these other people telling me you did. And I'm like, I don't know. But
Is it because of how it was framed? Because like, I just saw it as like, because I didn't really know much into it. I just saw it as like, you like basically like left the band, or that you were getting kicked out of the band. That's how it looked.
Yeah, that's how
the statement was a little weird.
Yeah. So that's how it's presented. Like I'm trying to be very careful for some other reasons, right? But I kind of reject a lot of that premise. And it was kind of weird how it did all happen. There were things that I had to do that needed to be done 2 years prior that nobody was doing. And with plenty of opportunity for that to happen. So when it did all collapse, I'm like, what do I do? And then, you question like, where is everything that went? How did everything go wrong? Right? I don't get this. But I'm also a soldier, right? So I look at things maybe different than the average person. And I'm like, you just got to embrace the suck and deal with it.
Yeah, it's almost like we can look at why this went left, but it really doesn't matter why it went left. This is where we are right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And during that time, man, like I keep looking at, man, I had all these opportunities in the Army. I was making 6 figures easily, facing another promotion and all kinds of other things. I know I could have gone back to North Carolina, got another sweet house, been set, stayed there.
Now I got these fucking neck tattoos.
Yeah, right. But I've had a gun to my head twice, loaded, ready to go, just putting that pressure on the trigger, ready to call it in, and no, I stopped, right, and it's hard, right? It's really hard, but I think that's part of that, some of that identity stuff, like maybe you just don't get it, like you can't see everything that's going to happen, you can't anticipate all the moves, but for that was just awful, right? And my wife and I, we're going through this together because we made this decision together, that we're going to do this, and when it all falls apart, and my kids are like, they don't really grasp any of this, and then how are they going to grasp the fact that their dad doesn't want to really be there and is not being present either, because I'm dealing with my own stuff. It's hard. So that's where it's been, but I've had to refocus and look at like, okay, well, this is in front of me, we're gonna do this, and no matter what anybody says, I know what I'm called to do, and I've seen the evidence thereof, so I just got to go into it, and I got to take what's in front of me. So that's how Nomads has been. And Danny Maldonado has been a great encouragement, like I've been saying. But he's behind me, right? And he's like, "Nope, I'm with you, man. Let's just go." And so we got some things moving in that. Yeah.
So are you guys all? Are you guys based in Minnesota or?
No, Danny's in Florida. Julian, who's doing drums for us, is in North Carolina, and then I'm in Minnesota. So
They're nomads, dude.
yeah, nomads, right?
Nomads.
No home. We don't belong here. So
I mean, I feel like obviously not ideal situation, but I feel like when you're in that situation, everything has to be so intentional.
Yeah.
So I feel like it makes it, like we can't mess around. It's like
right.
No bragging rights is pretty spread out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we got more. I think IE now. It's whole. Ty. I guess actually no. I guess it's just Ty. Yeah. Ty's our only links with the IE.
Oh jeez.
And it's Moreno Valley.
Let's talk about this.
Dude, I'm in the IE.
Is that the official announcement that ties into bragging rights now too?
No.
I mean,
I fucking told you, Ty.
Yeah. Just grand jumping.
what?
Grand jumping. Burgers stay easy on not bragging rights.
Dude.
Fucking
Oh,
torture culture.
And this is
Sorry.
all because he rejected me years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have been in NBR longer than everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, he was that was hard. I was like, oh, ouch.
So this is his Thanos then, right?
Yeah.
Inevitable.
Isn't that, yeah.
You heard it here first, Ty. Oh man, we always give Ty a hard time because he plays bass in all of our bands. Basically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he shows up to play bass for No Bragging Rights, and he looks cool as shit. He's like fucking black snapback, black and gold basketball jersey, and we're like, how come you don't dress like this for all our shows? The coolest shit right now for MVR.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah. Rolling out in sweatpants and a plaid shirt. Yeah.
So,
Didn't he show up with like a Killmonger shirt or something like that?
I don't remember.
I don't know. But he did come correct though.
He came correct.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
We have just a few questions here. This is from K Star.
I don't want to step on your questions, but I have to give the dog some medicine. So.
I have to pee actually.
I got to pee
Yeah,
too.
okay.
Okay, well, yeah, let's take a quick pause.
Sick.
All right. So this is from K Star. That's what it looks like, at least. When can I order a 3XL Nomad shirt or sweater, please and thank you?
When we get back home, which I'm gonna be out here for at least another week, we're gonna put everything up. So stuff's coming soon. We are working on some other designs and everything, so we'll hopefully have some other new stuff as well with that. But yeah, so a couple weeks probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
This is from Danny's Go Forever and a Day.
Oh, I know who that is.
The other Danny's.
Why won't he make more babies with me? Actually, so off camera, I think he said that he was wanting 2 more.
Oh no, I did not.
He said something about 2 more.
I thought it was 2 more for now.
2 more for now. I think he's left it open, and he's really excited to get.
I reject all that fake news. That fake news.
5 is the magical number.
5 is the new 3. They said.
So many.
Yeah, she keeps praying for a miracle. That's it. That's all you're getting from me, man.
Dude,
Marrying the lamb.
dude, I hate. I mean, this isn't like a secret or anything. I probably told this on the podcast, but we saw Ryan LaTrue and at our Nashville show, and I hadn't seen him in forever, so we were like talking, and I was like, "Hey, congratulations on your kid." And he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, kids. I didn't realize he had triplets.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so he went from like, because he, when he was touring, he told he didn't, like he told his wife like, I don't want to have kids, and so she was like down with it. And then when he finished his touring, he's like, you know what, like we're in a good place, like let's try for 1.
Yeah, 3.
He was
Yeah.
blessed with 3.
Yeah, man, he's got it. It's cool.
Yeah.
He's already outnumbered. So right now, you might as well just keep going.
Keep going. Keep
Yep.
going, Ryan.
Yeah, keep going. You got it,
Keep
Ryan.
going. Why stop?
Yeah. And at that point, it's like you just don't sleep anymore. It's all about naps, right?
Yeah.
Some naps are longer than others.
It's those Batman naps, like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there.
Yeah.
Eventually they add up.
Yeah. But yeah, I know he's doing good. He's like, touring with Fit for a King now. So he's got to figure it out,
Is oh, that's cool. We were recording with Putney at the same time Fit for a King was, and my introduction to Fit for a King was they were all wrestling each other
Oh.
in
In the hallway.
like downstairs. I mean, it wasn't all of them. It was like 3 of them.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what's up, guys? all out of breath.
Wasn't one of the dudes in Fit for a King in Phineas?
I think that's right. I don't
One of the guitar
Yeah.
players was in Phineas, I believe.
So.
That shreddy fucking metalcore stuff.
Maybe. I don't know.
I like when I took my break. I lost. I don't know anything. People are telling
Yeah.
me about all these bands, and I don't know what happened.
Dude, that happened to me too because I stepped away for a little bit and I was doing like other music and whatever. And I remember coming back and hearing new bands, right? Like Fit for a King being one of them. Like
Yeah.
hearing Fit for a King, and then it's like I really like the guitars in this. And then at some point, way later on, they're like, "Oh yeah, dudes from like so and so band are in this
Right.
now, and they play in this now." And you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that makes fucking sense. Why I like this
Yeah.
band." Like all these connections that I didn't know happened.
Yeah, when I went back to school, I like left music completely. And so when I started to like, I was genuinely like so afraid to like fall back into it because it would have been such a me thing to be like almost done with school and then like
Yeah, you're right.
it
Fuck
hits your
school.
lips and you're just like,
Yeah.
it's like let me just walk away from all this right now.
Yeah.
But my like I call it my pandemic fine, but Mind Force was like what kind of
My force.
Oh, dude.
brought me back.
Yeah, I didn't know about them until Furnace Fest 23. And watching that, I was like, this is dope. The next year, somebody had got me a backstage pass or whatever, or gave me theirs. And so I went and watched Mind Force from the other side. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I think it was cooler that way because that was, it was less hazardous for my health,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
But, dude, they go hard.
You're closer to spiky guitars that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, I was really excited for Sound and Fury last year or 2 years ago because Mind Force and Pain of Truth, who I haven't seen,
Yeah.
and so they were playing the same night, and it was that weekend that we got no braggers, so I had to play shows. Again.
Had to play shows again.
I said decided to.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
No, I'll see them someday. But
Fine.
mental health check.
Yeah, let's do it.
Real quick. Mental health check is where we like to check in weekly, see where we're at mentally. That way, if something's going well or things are going well, what's going on in our life, and if things aren't going too well, what's keeping us in a funk, and let's talk about it.
Let's talk about how your sunburn is still peeling from the 4th of July.
I don't even know which part of either the Mexican side or the Peruvian side to blame for this,
Yeah, right.
but
Jeez.
it was
You're on a hill
probably can't
and then a mountain.
But anyway, it was bad. It was 4th of July. We went to the beach, and we were under a canopy thing. And then I was thinking about this, and so when the sun was going down, so it wasn't as hot, but then the sun was just straight hitting us,
Yeah.
and so
And that's where you decided to
Yeah.
sleep.
yeah. Oh, and then my hat was backwards.
Oh, that's a good move right there.
And,
Dude, he had the full
Heck yeah.
snapback.
I've been able to like kind of like be in the sun at work, like take my hat off and just, and so it doesn't look as
Burn me.
crazy, but it was like a straight up like
yeah.
brown and then this white strip.
Have you gotten to the point driving yet where your left arm is like more burnt than your right or darker than your right?
I don't know, dude, but I do. My arms look gross, man. I'm peeling right now.
No.
Wait, am I starting because of that?
Yeah, dude. We haven't been here. Okay, we haven't done an episode in over a month. So 4 weeks.
Oh,
How you been for 4 weeks, Mike?
4 weeks. This last week was really stressful. Last 2 weeks feel like were pretty stressful, just in the sense of trying to like. I had told my work that I was gonna be stepping away, like I was gonna be done at the end of summer, because I'm going back to school, get my master's, and also I was just like kind of ready to move on, and I don't know. I feel like I wanted to be able to be more available for like music stuff too. And so I told them, and then basically like they're like, "What can we do to make you stay?" Which I was like not prepared for, because I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't even thinking like that."
yeah.
And so they kind of gave me a couple options, which were actually really, really cool. And so, like, I feel like the last couple of weeks, just kind of like figuring out like, what can I ask for that's like fair, but also like still works for like what I'm wanting to do. And so I made
Contract negotiations, dude.
I know, I was going through. I made a whole list, dude. I made a list.
Like LeBron right now.
I know. Just holding up the league, LeBron.
Fucking. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you with such negativity.
No, I'm happy. I'm happy he's gone, dude. We're younger and white.
So it's not going to be a good year for you guys.
Yeah.
It might
I
be.
feel like, dude.
Yeah, they're balling out.
Kessler, Luca, and what's his name?
To me, as long as LeBron's gone, it's a win. It's a win for me.
He brought us a chip, dude. Just one. I'll take it. What is that? Oh, negotiating.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just been like stressful. Like I'm not good with that stuff.
Yeah.
And like I know and I feel like I feel gross asking for like stuff that like I guess makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
I've never had to do that. And then trying to like enroll into school, because like I know once I'm taking my classes, I'm gonna love it. I love school. I love like learning about that kind of stuff. And so once I do that, it's fine. But like the whole process of like having to like get my transcripts, get people to write recommendations for me, like paperwork stuff, I don't hate it. I don't want to do it. That's been stressful. But I feel like there's something else that was like going on. I don't know. But aside from that, I feel like I've been doing these like vocal warm-ups every day, and it's been helpful, I think, as far as like kickstarting my voice. Although I hadn't done it since the last practice. Maybe that's why. I was stressed out.
Could be.
But usually singing helps me. That's like my I don't know. Gets me back down. And then but I will say last couple of days, even though my wife left yesterday, and then I got to hang out with like my nieces today, watch the World Cup, watch my first game.
Was it Spain won, right?
Spain, yeah.
Yeah, we were at some, I don't know, whatever it is, like market down the way. And, I mean, they were going nuts. We were right at the end of it. They were going nuts for it.
Yeah, I hadn't watched a single game. I just watched highlights. And then my brother was making some chicken and stuff. And so we watched the game and had a good time. My nieces can hang, dude. They were like there. I was like surprised. They were watching. But other than that, yeah.
What is it that you're studying?
So what I'm going back for school for would be my master's in social work.
Oh, okay.
So eventually some kind of therapy, counseling. Because right now I have my degree, I have my bachelor's of social work, but like the kind of opportunities and jobs I have are like not. It's just like
You're making more at the propane company,
I make more at a propane company,
which is kind of a bummer, but
and like actually this is kind of I think part of what was hard too was, you know, I'll be honest about this, but like I'd worked a couple of the jobs I worked at, it kind of took a lot of like that excitement I had to get into that world, because I'm like there's so much red tape to help people.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right.
You know, and it's just like, it's like disheartening. 'Cause you're like, you know, wanting to help kids and make changes and stuff, and then it's like, oh no, you can't do this. And one of the places, this is a while ago, but one of the places I was at, they basically were like lie to the kids.
Oh,
I was like, can't do that. Can't do that.
Ain't gonna do no good.
And so I left that place. But I don't know. It was just I think that if I get my master's, it'll give me, I can feel like I can do a little more. I'll be in a better position to kind of do more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's gonna be red tape there too, but I feel like it'll at least be different and just more. I think more like realistic opportunities for work.
Yeah.
So
You come work with me, man.
and I'll work with Mike,
I can
dude.
get you a job.
Ooh, what you do, Mike?
I work for a hospital
Okay.
here. I'm on the tech side of things, but I am involved with some of the builds for like some of our new mental health units, and we're hiring social workers.
Oh.
So I can slide that application in to the hands of the right people. You know,
Yeah.
They're like,
I've been trying to get in real cool with all the behavioral health science.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I'm like, let me just.
and then I can work from here
You could.
with you.
You could. we can sit on the couch side by side.
Imagine.
The TV split.
We'll do this 6 days a week.
They're like, I'm like talking with like a patient, and they're like, is that someone in there? He's cool.
It's fine.
He's fine.
Don't worry, he's not gonna say anything. But Danny, where have you been at mentally the last couple? Or we'll just say this last week or so.
Yeah, so I guess leading up to getting out here, well, my wife had told me, it was like Monday of last week, I think it was, you know, that evening, apparently I kept her up all night. I didn't know. I woke up and was like, man, I'm just tired. But I was just screaming in my sleep. You know, I was having nightmares and fighting in my sleep and all this stuff.
Oh, shit.
And she's like, the next morning, she's like, so what were you dreaming about last night? I'm like, I don't know. But like, I told her, like, there's all this other stuff that was on my mind that been weighing on me heavy. And then, you know, we're leaving in a couple of days to go out to California and whatever. I'm like, I don't know. But it was hard, right? It's just like, I'm still processing a whole lot of information right now. And then my life is probably going to start changing in November. So, we don't know what that
new kid on the way.
Yeah, those.
new kid.
fourth
Yeah,
and-
right. Okay.
Fourth and fifth kids.
Better not mine. It's not mine. But I'm like, you know, just trying to wrap my head around some other things still and processing that. But coming out here, it's been a lot. It's been really helpful. I got a lot of friends that showed up to our last two shows. A lot of encouraging words, a lot of the things that they wanted to share with me. And so I guess I went from being like a 4 to like an 8. So I'm pretty good right now.
Good.
Yeah. And we'll see. I got to go back to Minnesota, you know,
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks. But yeah.
What's your, like, if you're just in it, what's your go-to to kind of get yourself back?
Well, I mean, the big thing is prayer, right? And I know a lot of times if I'm not consistent in my Bible reading, spending that time with the Lord, I'm gonna be crushed. There's something, I'm vulnerable, right? But the other thing too that my wife and I both have noticed, and she'll tell me, she's like, you either haven't worked out or you haven't eaten anything. You gotta do something. And I'm pretty good with my diet. I try not to eat a lot of trash, but some fruits, nuts, berries, and some garbage, like a raccoon, right? I gotta
That's
right, yeah, right. Spirit animal right there, man.
that's the way to live.
So yeah, that's it. And like I did a body scan the day before we flew out, and I was like 17.5% body fat. In the last 4 months, I've gained like 4 pounds of muscle, and I'm like, this is awesome. And now I'm out here and I'm eating In-N-Out and all the carne asada I can find, whatever else I
And you're not
want.
done yet.
And I'm
Yeah,
not.
we're gonna go to tacos in like 20 minutes.
So, I'm like, that those are the things I've got to do. I really see, the total, try to look at the total person model, right? Like you guys, conscience, right? So all your mental stuff that, you guys are certainly emphasized here. And then you got your physical, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the spiritual side. If one of these things is out of alignment, they all suffer, right? So I've got I'm a level 2 CrossFit instructor, and being up in Minnesota, got to work with some people in our church that are really overweight, and they don't do anything in there. They need help. So we're like, we'll train you, and we've got them into the gym that we actually attend. But I'm like, you talk about like you don't have any confidence to stand up for yourself or whatever. Well, it's because you don't even have any confidence to look at yourself in the mirror right now, and it's hard. I get it, but you have to start somewhere. So like, there's this guy that I trained, and at the beginning of this all, he couldn't do a lunge, he couldn't do a sit up, and then he's just been showing me every time like we get together, like, oh, I can do this now, I can do this now, I can do this, and you can see like his mental health is way higher, and like, cool. Now you can start showing up for your family, because before he's like, I don't know why I do this. I don't want to keep coming here. I'm like, bro, I don't even charge you anything. Just you don't have to be here. You can leave at any time. And then he finally was like, no, I got to do it because of my kids. I got to be there for them. I don't want their dad to die at like 47 years old from a heart attack. Yeah. So I don't know. Those are the kind of things you got to prioritize. You got to figure out all those parts. So yeah. No. Okay.
I think I maybe said this maybe once before on the podcast, and just take it as you want. I'm not by any means like ashamed of my faith. I just don't really talk about it.
Yeah.
But for me, I can honestly say, like, since I started, I do audio Bible. I do everything audiobook. And so I've been doing, I guess I'm on year 3 of like listening to the Bible in audio.
Yeah.
So I think I'm on my fourth time through. And, like, honestly, and I kind of want, like, I'd like to challenge people to do this, because it's like, if you've done like, especially someone who's struggling, like, if you've done everything, like, try this. Why not? Or like, but anyway, so like for me, I haven't had like a real serious suicidal ideation in 3 years.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
And so I feel like for people, like, I know we have a very mixed bag of people who who listen.
Yeah.
But that's like kind of been like my challenge for like friends who are like, I've done everything.
Yeah.
It's like, then do this.
Yeah.
What will it hurt?
Crazy. Yeah. That's when Easy Out got serious and.
Yeah. I mean, and I hope people know that, like, even as believers, like, we can have that struggle. You can have those thoughts. I do. I've had them over the last 8 months, but I've always had to go back and then, like, okay, yeah, but there's a reason why he's allowing suffering to happen. And it's not because he hates me,
right,
but there's something good that can come from it. And that's where, like, your body is evidence that if you put it under the right kind of stress and you endure that suffering, you actually you reap a reward for that, whether you get stronger or faster or slimmer.
Yeah.
So, I hope everybody can see that, like, there is something to it. There's a purpose for it.
Yeah. I tell people too, like, or even when it comes to like for like marriage and stuff, like, life is still hard, but like, you have someone to do it with. And then for like my faith, it's like, no, life is still hard. Like, my work is still very difficult.
Yeah.
I still have incredible debt.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's just different, and my mind doesn't go to like, my mind can go dark in other ways, but my mind doesn't go dark in the way that used to like scare me. Like,
yeah.
In a harmful way.
Yeah.
And so, I think, like, I had to wait to be like, I want to make sure this is like something I can really talk about.
Yeah.
Because, like, what if it is just like, I was like dating someone, maybe that's just gonna like, I'm happier there, maybe I'm not thinking about it, but it's like, I feel like 3 years is like a big.
It
is big.
It's a big thing.
That's humorous.
Yeah.
Mike, where you at?
So it's been it's been a test over the last month. So since the last time we have been at the podcast and done it, we had a lot of episodes that we kind of canceled and kind of took some time off because like my aunt passed and we had the funeral in June, and then we had something else that popped up right around the time of the podcast I was supposed to follow that.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then the weekend after that, you were sunburned. So Father's Day, we had an episode, and because of everything that had been going on in the family, I really wanted to prioritize like hanging out with my dad, and so like we took like a solid month off from the podcast, which like bums me out to do because like we've been doing this so consistently and we've been hitting it.
It's crazy. So like we used to do it every week.
Like
once a week.
Every week.
And now we're every 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I almost like trying not to think about it too hard because it's like how have we been able to do?
Yeah.
Our schedules are pretty crazy.
Yeah, our schedules have been, especially lately, like they've just been so insane.
I don't even live here anymore.
I know. Yeah. But yeah, so it's been like a lot of, and then on top of that, like work got hectic. Like there was a bunch of shit. Like, long story short, like we had a client that basically tried to throw me under the bus for some shit that like they dropped the ball on, but they needed somebody to blame it on, and it went to me. But I had all the receipts as to why it wasn't my fault. But even though I had those receipts, we still had to deliver what they wanted, right? And then now I'm dealing with a way reduced time frame. Sure. So there's that, and still handled everything, still got everything done. Just kind of a matter of like, all right, let me prioritize what we need to do, what we need to get everything finished, and then on top of that, just like preparing for shows, and so there's been a lot of stress and a lot of just like trying to cope with everything that's been happening, but at the same time there's also been a lot of cool shit happening. Like we got added to a Guttermouth show and fucking ripped one of the Guttermouth on a school night, right, on a Thursday night, and we played well. It was a good show. Like we had a good time, and then we've like this week we've got Vegas on Friday. Like we're playing Punk Rock Museum again on Friday. And so it's like cool shit happening, but then like my dog gets attacked by a gopher. Now I'm like $3,000 in the hole over 11 days because she's had 2 surgeries basically. So it's like,
I would have been like,
there's some give and take here.
What kind of quality of life will she have if she doesn't?
If she just doesn't have this toe, right?
No.
It was funny because last night, so basically she got, just to explain it, she got bit by a gopher because she saw it in the yard. She went chasing after it. She was digging up the yard. There's all these holes and shit. And she almost got him, and he turned around and bit her toe. And like that big ass teeth that they used to dig through the dirt. So went on each side of the toe, and so there's this just hole all the way through it. So that required like a procedure, like a deep laceration to repair it, stitches, everything like that. And then she was on antibiotics, but the infection was resistant to that first round of antibiotics. So on Wednesday last week was the last day. Wednesday was the last day of antibiotics. And then by yesterday, she started like not walking on the paw again and started swelling again. And even the vet called it when I went today. She's like, this happened like 3 days after you finished the course. And I was like, yeah. She goes, okay, it was resistant to that antibiotic. So they went in there and they're like, well, we're going to remove the stitches. We'll see if anything drains out of it, whatever. And it did, like pretty nasty. So they pulled the stitches, let it drain. And now they're like, here's a heavier antibiotic. Here's something crazier. Here's an 8-day thing, but we're still going to culture it. And now they're like, just like, hey, let's let it fucking drain. Like no stitching, no nothing. Like let's let it kind of do its thing and just keep cleaning it and monitoring it. So like when I got the text about you coming in for the podcast today, like I was at the vet and I was like, okay, will this timing work? Like, are we going to make this time? Cool. Can we do 4:30 instead of 3:30? Like, right. And then, like, they're like, okay, she's ready. So I was like, cool. I go to pick her up and like, she's just like laying in the fucking thing, like not paying attention to everybody. No. And I like tap her, and she looks at me, and then just fucking like drops her head back. I was like, oh no. And then I put her on her leash and collar, and she's just like a drunk toddler, just like fucking back and forth and slamming into shit.
She's like high energy.
She's super high
like
energy.
to the point where, like, we have guests, we have to put her in the
crate.
She a boxer?
Yeah. So they're already high energy.
Yeah.
They already jump on people.
Dude,
right?
the nuts on the gopher to bite a boxer.
Well, I mean, it was either that or it gets fucking eaten. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Like,
right. Yeah.
So,
That's fair.
and like at first I was like, gophers are usually pretty passive, and they're like, yeah, until they're threatened, and
right.
use those teeth to fucking.
I'm definitely biting the dog in the foot if I'm.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, right. Sorry, your dog's beautiful, but I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And so now it's just kind of like, all right, well, we spent all this money.
Yeah.
Have Vegas next weekend.
Win it back, dude.
Yeah. That's just a slippery slope to just being a full degenerate. Like, you know, I spent $3,000, but I'm out $6,000 trying to win the $3,000 back.
So now I live here, and this I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get one of these times. Yeah.
We as a band, we want to put our, I think it was our tip. We put something on black. Dude, we walked out with our heads down, dude. We were so hurt.
Dude, Creative Void, one tour came home with money, and me, Steve, Williams, Austin, we all went to Morongo at $100 each. All went our separate ways. I kid you not, within 30 minutes, we're all right back where we split up, and we're like, so we're gonna go to In-N-Out or what? So we all lost $100.
Yeah, right.
Fuck.
I got $10 left.
We went to Vegas. We've only been there twice, but the second time was just me and my wife for a trip, and it was I think it's in the Phoenician. I think so. Mm-hmm. There's this restaurant anyway in the basement called La Chica, and they got these really good donuts, and then they had bottomless mimosas. So we did profit from that for quite a bit, right? But then we got out of there and we're like, oh, there's these slots right here. And I had like $7 in cash, and I'm like, well, I've never played the slots, right? And now they got a thing on there where you can tap your credit card or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is how they get you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I remember putting $7 and we're playing it. I don't even know what I'm doing, right? But somehow we're winning, right? We're doing this, and Kara's like, I don't know what to do right now. I'm like, well, just bet it all. So we bet it all, we lose it all, of course. We're like, cool, we can say we did that, and now it's on to the next thing.
Yeah.
We're not doing this anymore. It's dangerous, man.
Dude. But I've had some slots go like way right. Like I threw $20 in one time, and then just max bet it, just preparing to just in passing do whatever it does, and paid for the whole fucking weekend and more because it just
Sometimes it works.
yeah.
I did that with Williams, and I had like $20. I'm like, I can't get anything with $20 anyway, so I'm just gonna play it. And it was like one of those a Vegas story. I was like down to like my last like $2 or whatever, and then it hit, and I was losing my mind because I thought I won $20. Chris was like, "No, dude, you won $250, dude." I was like, "Yeah, yes,
I'm getting 2 burritos.
I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Yeah. Talk about me, boys."
Hell yeah. So yeah, I mean it's been like I'm still in a pretty positive like mindset. Like I'm still like, there's cool shit happening. There's
Right.
The next week or 2 weeks are gonna be busy as hell because we got like your birthday's on Tuesday. As we're recording when this comes out, your birthday will have passed, but your birthday's on Tuesday. And then so leave for Vegas Thursday. We play Punk Rock Museum Friday. I'm gonna try and get an easy out tattoo in Vegas on Saturday.
Nice.
Sunday, I'm leaving Vegas early, driving back and going straight to Long Beach Warped Tour for Warped, and then Monday go to work. After work, going to Guilt Trip at the Glass House. Fucking,
Wait,
yeah.
Sunday?
Monday.
Mm.
Monday. Tuesday, I'm assuming we have practice because we've been practicing on Tuesdays. And then I have like 2 days off, and then we have Spider-Man. We have a theater for Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then we play
I'm not gonna be there.
Colton
Yeah.
on the 1st. And then and then we have the podcast after that, don't we?
Probably. That's about right.
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be busy next like 2 weeks or so, and I have to be on site for work. So
Whoa.
yeah,
For what?
one to, like I have back-to-back project go lives that are like happening at our different. So like when I get back from Vegas, I have to be in Marietta, and the week after that, I have to be in Riverside. So just busy, busy, but
Busy bees.
can't complain. You know, it's a good.
Well, I mean, you could. You could probably find something.
I'm sure as it's happening, I'm gonna be like, man, fuck this.
Maybe you can get bit by that gopher next time.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was another thing. So I'd gotten tattooed, and as soon as my dog got into a cone, all she wants to do is be right next to me, and she just kept fucking slapping into my thighs.
yeah.
She just come barreling in the room and going, like, oh. So this got all like irritated and shit.
That's fine.
So playlist jams, and then let's go get some tacos. So we got a Spotify playlist where essentially I'm gonna add a song from your band,
Okay, sick.
and then something, no genre restrictions. What have you been jamming lately?
Ooh, okay. Let me check my phone right quick because I don't remember a lot of that.
Yeah,
But
I have mine while you.
Yeah,
while
what's
you look.
what's yours?
Mine comes with a little quick story. I got a text message from Tommy.
Oh, okay.
He's like, coming out to these shows. I was like, of course.
Oh yeah, because that happened after the last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you want to jump on a song? I was like, I literally responded, does the Pope wear a funny hat?
yeah,
Sure does. And so,
It's like, oh no, I'm not Catholic.
yeah. And so he was like, so then I was like, yeah, of course, like stoked. And then like day before the show, I was like, hey, Tommy, I don't know if you still want me to do that. He's like, oh, yeah. He's like, what song? I was like, I don't know. Like, and so he let me pick. And so I did Overthrow.
oh yeah.
And I was nervous, dude.
Because is that
You did
because
good.
Thank you.
the first song you picked, Kat Von D was doing?
No, it's funny. I was like, does anyone do gang songs? That's like my favorite.
Yeah.
One of my favorite songs. He's like, no. Actually, you know what's I was okay. So like, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a song with Sleeping Giant. So I get there, and I don't have like a backseat pass or anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to go tell the girl I'm like, I'm gonna be singing a song with them. Can I go back there? She's like, you need a laminate. I'm like, okay. So then I like text Tommy. He's busy, and like I spend a long time like trying to like figure out a way to get back there, and then finally I saw a buddy of mine and I told him what was happening, and so then he goes and he actually got Tommy's laminate, and he comes back. And as my buddy's coming to tell me, that's when I saw you.
Yeah. Yep.
And I remember I felt bad. I was like, it was like, hey, I was like, dude, it's awesome. I'm sorry, I gotta go. And so I go there. So like I finally get back, and I'm like, okay, finally I'm back here. And then like a minute later, my wife just walks back. She's like, oh yeah. She's like, I saw Ruin from Dynasty. And he's just walking back here.
No.
I was like,
That's cool.
Yeah, it must be nice.
yeah. So,
That's the wife privilege stuff.
it's funny, man. She knows like a lot of people from the scene. It's always,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I was like, how do you know them?
Oh yeah. So song that I'm listening to, Madball, Heaven Hell, off of the Legacy album.
Hell yeah.
And then, song from my band. We only got one out there because I'm still learning how to do all this stuff on my own. It's called Liberty and Death. Search NMDS _HXC. That's us.
Sweet.
So yeah.
What about you, Jesse?
So they've been around for a minute. I know that for sure, but I just barely started listening to them. Let's Go Somewhere by the Frantic Flintstones.
Frantic Flintstones, got it. Sweet.
What are you doing on, Michael?
I've been on a downswing kick, dude.
Oh.
So shout out the boys in Downswing. Let's add For What It's Worth on there. Got it. Nailed it. Sweet.
Dope, man.
Well, dude, you want to plug any socials for anything?
Yeah, so you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram. I do believe we have a YouTube. But Nomads, so NMDS _hardcore. JCHC Fest, we are going to do another one. I've got to be a part of that planning committee, and hopefully I'll be able to continue to be a part of that. So JCHC Fest, let's check that out as well.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh yeah, I have one more. I do print T-shirts and stuff. So
Sick.
if anybody's in Twin Cities area right now, the Bespoke Printer. We are terrible. I suck at
At social media, but not at shirt printing.
Not at shirts. But
Good at shirts. Bad at social.
Yeah, I guess I should have thought about that.
Oh, like, this is the craziest promo.
Yeah. We suck, but we can really use your business.
We suck, but we'll give you a great deal.
Make us better. Give us practice.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've got nothing on those. We continue to take videos and stuff, but I'm probably the worst. I hate social media for a lot of things. But we're really bad at maintaining that one. We haven't put a single post up there. So but we really do print stuff.
Yeah, we do this.
Yeah, we do all the Nomad stuff. I did most of the No Trees stuff. So we can print your stuff too, and it won't suck. I promise.
Hell yeah. Dude, well, thank you for coming, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
This is rad. This is rad. And let's get some tacos before they close. Let's have a good time.
All right.
All right, well.
All right. Love you guys. Peace.
No way to handle my aggression.